today we're just gonna get right into it. The recipe that I'm doing is modeled after a recipe in this book, actually. So I'm not doing the recipe exactly. I am altering it a little bit. In the future, I would like to do a recipe straight out of here, minus the sulfates and stuff, because I don't know, I just don't like those. But that would really be the main difference, and probably pectinase too. I've never really found that pectinase is like an essential thing. My meads have always cleared up just fine. TBH. So, what is this mead, you may be asking? And I would say, well, I would tell you. Oh, there we go. Okay. And it is a blueberry compote. So it's a blueberry Acerglyn. So this is going to be a nice sweet mead. It requires 3 pounds of honey, 12 ounces of maple syrup, and then blueberries, which usually I would use actual blueberries, but today I kind of wanted to cheat a little bit and I wanted to use some pure blueberry juice, just because I didn't really want to deal with all the extra sediment and stuff. And I like to have a very strong berry flavor. I think that this will be just right because the recipe only calls for 1.5 pounds of blueberries. I don't know how many pounds it takes to make juice, but I'm just gonna go with it because I want it to be nice and blueberry-ish, you know what I'm saying? So usually I like to start my videos by talking about some history or other qualities of the ingredients that I'm using. I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna make this mead. I have already talked about blueberries, so I don't want to like repeat myself very much. I want to pretty much follow this recipe. The only things that I'm changing are the fact that I'm using a juice instead of actual blueberries. My honey is different. This calls for wildflower. I'm using a pound of Gardnerbees melter honey, which I do want to do a review on because the price is amazing on that honey. If you are looking for a cheap bulk honey, Gardnerbees melter honey is $40 for 2 gallons. That's like 24 pounds of honey almost. So it's a killer deal. That is amazing. But it's called melter honey because it goes through a high heat process when they spin the honey out of honeycomb and stuff that they use for wax products. So it's sort of like a bochet honey, because it does go through a heated process. So I used a pound of that and 2 pounds of orange blossom, which I think is gonna be really nice in this. And I think that's about it. In secondary, I am going to put a vanilla bean in here. And I think those are the major parts to this recipe. Robert Ratliff, who wrote this book, is very technical. He has won a lot of awards. This book was edited by Vicky Rowe, who works for Got Mead, which is a really good website for mead making. You know, it's a good place for people to share recipes and things like that. If you've never heard of Got Mead, I highly recommend just checking it out and seeing what people are doing. Okay. So I went ahead and melted my honey first. I don't like to boil my honey, just because a lot of the aromatics and stuff will be like boiled out. So I just heated up some water and melted all of the honey in there. So there is 3 pounds in here currently. I want to add this. So I calculated it out. This is a quart and there are 4 cups per quart. There are 16 cups per gallon. So I'm going to have this and a little bit over 10 cups in here. Holla! This is filtered water sufficient to reconstitute and blueberry juice concentrate. You don't want to buy any kind of juice that has sorbates or any other kind of preservatives in it, because then it's going to suppress fermentation. So you don't want to do that. So I should have a bit over a gallon now, because I would like to have exactly a gallon after I rack this. Obviously there is going to be some sediment at the bottom because that is what happens. Oh, I need to get my yeast going. All right, this is still a little bit warm. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my yeast in here, just kind of warm it up a bit. I'm just gonna put half. Now I do have Go Firm and I have Fermaid O here. I'm gonna go ahead and use these just to make sure my yeast has everything that it needs to thrive. All right, I'm gonna set that to the side so that I can just put it in a little bit. I feel like I put way too much Go Firm in here. It's just like a chunk. Whatever, that's just gonna sit there. Okay, on with the show. Let's add our maple syrup. So I need 12 ounces of this. I love maple syrup. Oh my God, I'm so excited. To get about 12 ounces, you're looking at just over a cup. I'm at 12.3 ounces technically. So as you can see, it's about up to here. This is a 2-gallon bucket, so I think we're looking okay. This shouldn't be too full. I'm gonna go ahead and take a gravity reading and see where we're at. This recipe was pretty easy. This is like not one of the more difficult ones that I've done. It's definitely a little bit time consuming, just blending all the different like sugars together. Oh yeah, buddy, this is nice and tall. Let me just double check the starting gravity. So original gravity, 1.132. 1.1, yeah. All right, cool. So it's supposed to be that high. It says ABV about 14%. Hopefully that's right. With D47, it's been going above and beyond that number, so. All right, OG 1.130. This is gonna be really good. I am so excited about this one. I've been waiting to do this. Waiting. Blueberry maple syrup with honey. Blueberry maple syrup with honey. It's gonna be really good. Oh yeah, I can't wait to drink it. Oh yeah. So what we wanna do now is aerate the must. Typically that is a lot of shaking and things like that. I don't have a fancy aerator, so I'm just gonna stir it up. I should do this for 5-ish minutes. I feel like that's probably pretty good. Next step, we drop off the yeast. That chunk of gopher, man, I should have broken that up. It's so gross. Everything's looking good. Stir them in a little bit. Get in there, yeast. Have an orgy. No, that's what y'all are gonna do, you nasty. All right, from here, we pop this little topper on. Pretty much all my airlocks have like mold on them now. It's kind of gross, but it ain't gonna hurt. The mead done. And yeah, I'm gonna go put this on the floor in my room. That's it. I think I did everything. So in about 3 weeks or so, I'm going to rack this. We'll make sure it's done fermenting, which it should be, because that's a lot of sugar. So this yeast should max out and there should be residual sweetness. So then from there, we would be able to add the vanilla bean, let it hang out for a while, and then rack and bottle. Ideally, that's how this will go, but you know, we'll see. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment. Have you made something like this before? Have you worked with maple syrup? Have you made Acerglyns or some kind of blends with Acerglyns? I feel like maple syrup and brown sugar would probably be really good together. You know, leave your recipe or the gist of what it is that you did that you really liked in the comments. That would be awesome. I love seeing those things. I like having, you know, new ideas. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching and all that jazz, and I will see you next time. Bye.